Hello, Dark Reader, and welcome to the Dark Side of the Library podcast. I'm your host, Katie, and with me is my creepy co-host, Carrie.
Ha ha ha!
Oh.
I just tried to be scary. I don't know.
I liked it, and the big pause at first, and then the
So I was gathering my wits about me. What little there are left. It's the spooky season.
It is, and today we're going to be talking about spooky kids books that are being released in October of 2023. This is like our favorite episode every single month, I'm pretty sure, because kids books are so cute. So just so you're aware, we have not read these yet. We just wanted to present all the ones that were really exciting to you guys, but we wouldn't be complaining if we got a free copy of a cool book ahead of time, because that would be awesome. But Carrie, why don't you start us off with your first kids book of today?
Yeah, and I wanted to say I was surprised how few actual Halloween-y books came out this month. I guess all the publishers rushed to get them out in August and September.
Yeah.
So we have a few, and my first one is a nonfiction book called An Atlas of Afterlives. Discover Underworlds, Otherworlds, and Heavenly Realms, part of the Lost Atlases series by Emily Hawkins. And it's meant for grade level 4 to 7 or age 9 to 12 years. It sets out to explore and explain the many underworlds, otherworlds, heavens, and hells believed in by cultures from across the world throughout history. I totally want to read this, and I'm a grown-up, sort of. So, from paradise gardens to fiery kingdoms, from shadowy isles of the dead to ghostly galleons on an eternal voyage, these visions of eternity are fascinating examples of human creativity and storytelling. We're going to learn about the gloomy kingdom of Hades, the ancient Greek god of the dead. We're going to learn about Valhalla, the mead hall of fallen Norse heroes, Duat, the ancient Egyptian river of death, the gates of Guinea, the voodoo portal said to be hidden in New Orleans.
Ooh.
The Lakota Trail of Spirits in the Milky Way, and many, many, many other cultures and stories. I definitely need to grab this. It's illustrated. It's An Atlas of Afterlives by Emily Hawkins. It comes out on Halloween.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, it would make a really good Christmas gift.
It would.
My first book of today is Chiller Thriller. This is a part of the Junior Monster Scout series of books. It's the 7th installment. This came out October 3rd, and this is by Joe McGee, and Ethan Long is the illustrator. So, the Monster Scouts befriend a lonely Yeti. I'm so excited because I love Yetis. They're one of my favorite monsters.
Oh, really, Mary?
Yeah.
This will make my Christmas shopping easier.
I'm only going to get Yetis. So it's winter in the village, and a fresh blanket of snow means sledding, caroling, yummy hot cocoa, and fun for everyone. Except for a lonely Yeti named Igloo. And cranky Baron von Grump, whose cabin is about to be whisked away by a scary avalanche. So the Junior Monster Scouts have to try to save the day. Our Monster Scouts' names are Frankie, Wolfie, and Vampira. And can they also make a friend? An abominable friend. So this is Chiller Thriller. This is for reading ages 7 through 10. It's super cute. There's some illustrations trickled throughout this amazing, adorable book. And you can collect all 7 of the Junior Monster Scouts books. This is by Joe McGee and Ethan Long.
My next book is The Fall of the House of Tatterly. It has a creepy house on the cover. You know how much I love that. It's by Shanna Miles. It comes out October 10. And it's for grade levels 3 to 7, reading age 8 to 12 years. So 12-year-old Theo Tatterly has the ability to see ghosts. And that's a very useful skill in a house full of dead relatives. Oh, how lovely. But it makes him a loner at school, as you can imagine. And everywhere he goes, ghosts are eternally pestering him for help. It reminds me of that cute TV show called, surprisingly, Ghosts. So for Theo, life is easier on the periphery. When his first failed exorcism portends an end to the Tatterly line, Theo must bring together his entire family, living and dead, to save the home they've lived in for generations and maybe the world.
Oh, cute.
That's The Fall of the House of Tatterly by Shanna Miles.
My next book is called Friends. It's by Mies van Hout, and it came out October 3rd. It's a picture book for reading ages 6 through 10.
Is it about Chandler Bing and Monica?
I wish.
Oh.
I like that you called him his full name.
Well,
Chandler Bing. Okay, but there are monsters featured in there, and some of the friends at times were a bit monsterly. It's true. So apparently this is another print. So this has already been out before, but they've reprinted it. It's an award-winning author / illustrator. This is a bunch of beautiful black backgrounds using vibrant pastel coloring. And all of his books, so this book is Friends. He has another one called Happy, another one that's Surprise. Each spread of Friends shows a pair of monsters portraying a verb. So that can be like play, fight, reconcile, cuddle. So all of these monsters are representing different emotions. So this is a social emotional learning tool for kiddos. It's really cute. And we have really carefully crafted, quote, monster characters that express these emotions. And it's just a visually stunning, cute book. So if this is something you're interested in, I highly recommend checking out his entire series of cool books like this. This one, though, is called Friends, and this is by Mies van Hout.
My next book is about dolls. It's a Fright to Remember. It's part of the Monster High School Spirits series, #1. It comes out October 31, and the author is Mattel.
Oh, but of course.
There's a co-author named Adrianna Cuevas. The Monster High ghouls are back, and they're more spectacular than ever in this all-new original middle grade series set in the world of Nickelodeon's animated show, or the world of the dolls. It's for grade level 5 to 9, age 10 to 14 years. I'd be surprised if a 14-year-old doesn't think this is babyish, but if they really love the dolls, they might. So the plot is, as Monster High prepares for its annual talent show, Frankie Stein is left wondering what they could perform. When Tatterly Stripe mocks Frankie's music playing abilities, how rude, Frankie is left even more confused about which of their brain parts is exciting enough for the talent show. The headmistress' name is Bloodgood, and they present Frankie with new information about their brain that might hold the answer. But Frankie discovers, and this would be horrible, that their brain is partly from a disgraced scientist that's accused of unethical experiments. And they're plagued by dreams from the scientist's life. That's horrible.
It is.
Frankie has to team up with Draculaura and Claudine to discover the truth about their past and save Monster High. That's a Fright to Remember. It sounds very action-packed, and it comes out on Halloween.
Oh, you're right about that. I feel like I'd rather watch the movie.
Yeah.
My next book is Fungi Grow. It's a picture book. Came out October 17th, and this is by Maria Gianferrari, and Diana Sudyka is the illustrator. This is for baby through 8. It's not a super dark book, but most of us like fungi grow on dead things, so I guess it's kind of dark. So this is actually a non-fiction picture book, and it talks about all around us, below ground, above ground, how fungi grow, where they root, where they fruit, twist, they twine, they're everywhere, all around us. Some are edible, some are medicinal, and some are poisonous. And so we get to discover all of these amazing mushrooms and the world of mushrooms and just how they multiply, how they are integrated into our society, and just the whole network, the fungal network that helps forests thrive. There's a lot of cool things about fungi, and I think kids are going to totally dig this because they're alive, and it's fun because you can go out hiking. You can be like, oh, look, we learned about this mushroom, and fungi grow, and kids are going to be like, oh, I know what they do. So this is a cute book. I really like it. The illustrations are adorable. The mushrooms are vibrant and cool.
I feel like mushrooms are having a moment right now. Home decor, clothes, toy. There's even toy fake plush mushrooms, and there's a bunch of books coming out about them.
Oh, yeah. And I'm not going to lie, I've definitely jumped on that mushroom bandwagon myself.
Oh, this
And
Christmas
my
shopping
husband
is going to
has
be
too.
so easy. Yeti mushrooms.
Oh my God, that's a whole niche. We need to make that. Oh, so if you're interested in this book too, this is Fungi Grow. This is by Maria Gianferrari and Diana Sudyka.
My next book is a cute little picture book called The Monster Above the Bed. It comes out
Oh,
October 24. It's for preschool to grade 3 or 4 to 8 years. It's by Kailei and it's illustrations by Steph Liu. So Blossom loves jumping snake, swimming in the bog, and playing slime ball. She doesn't love the creepy sounds above her bed that no one else seems to notice. She's determined to get to the top of it once for all, and Blossom hatches a plan that leads her to find courage and a new friend. I love that there's a little twist, and the actual monster that's under the bed is scared of the actual little person on top of it. I love it. That's The
cute.
Monster Above the Bed by Kailei, and it comes out October 24.
My next book is The Nighthouse Keeper. This is a part of the Blight Harbor series of books. The first book was called The Clackety, and that came out last year in June. And it's really cool. This is for reading ages 10 through 12, so mid-grade level. This is a really fun series of books that really puts you in that spooky mood for sure. I don't necessarily want to ruin what the story is about in case it's, there was a cliffhanger from the Clackety, but this is supposed to be a trilogy of books. The first book, though, it talks about how Evie Van Rath is living in Blight Harbor, which is the 7th most haunted town in America.
Oh.
She's with her aunt, Desdemona. Oh, all of it is great. And Desdemona is the local paranormal expert. And she doesn't have very many rules, except she tells people stay out of the abandoned slaughterhouse at the edge of town.
You wouldn't have to tell me that twice.
I know. I'm like, oh, slaughterhouse. All right, not going in there. So her aunt disappears and into that building because she doesn't follow her own rules, I guess.
Oh, hypocrite.
And Evie goes searching for her, and then she meets the Clackety, and that's in the first book. So the Nighthouse Keeper is a continuation of Evie Von Rath and her whole paranormal exploration of her town of Blight Harbor. So check all of these out. This is by Lora Senf, and this is the Blight Harbor series.
So my next book is The Night Hunt by Alexandra Christo. It came out October 10. Atia is a monster who feeds on fear. As the last of her kind, she hides in the shadows of the world to escape the wrath of the unpredictable gods. Silas is a herald, carrying messages and ferrying the dead as punishment for a past he can't remember. Stripped of his true name, he yearns to recover his identity. Now, Atia would never dream of allying with someone like him, but when she breaks the sacred law and the gods send monsters to hunt her, Silas offers an irresistible deal. He'll help avenge her family and take on the gods who now hunt her, if she helps him break his curse and restore his humanity. Okay, sounds like a fair deal. Now, all they need to do is kill 3 powerful creatures, a vampire, a banshee, and one of the very gods who destroyed both their lives. Oh, simple.
Just a god.
Okay. So this is meant for grade levels 7 to 9. And it is called The Night Hunt by Alexandra Christo, a nice dark fantasy for kids. Love it.
My next book is another sequel. It is called Nightspark. This is by Michael Mann. The first book of this series was Ghost Cloud, and it's really cute. The art is adorable. We have like a cute little lady ghost, and she's flying with a human, I guess. I don't want to ruin the first book because this sounds like a pretty linear storyline. So let me tell you what Ghost Cloud is about, and then you can get both books. So we have it's a magical escapade about finding friendship and the courage to set yourself free against all odds. Kidnapped and forced to shovel coal underground in a half-bombed power station, 12-year-old Luke Smith Sharma keeps his head down and hopes that he can earn his freedom from the evil Tabitha Margate. Then one day he discovers he can see things that others can't, and they are ghostly. He can actually see this ghostly girl named Alma, who can bend the shape of clouds to her will and rides them through the night sky. So this is probably where Nightspark comes in.
You could freak people out so hard if you had that ability.
I know, it'd be kind of fun, actually.
Just park one over your ex-boyfriend's house and have the cloud be like, Mwah!
Constantly raining. I don't understand. So with Alma's help, Luke discovers his own innate powers and uncovers the terrible truth of why Tabitha is kidnapping children and forcing them to shovel coal. So he's desperate to escape and teams up with the cute little ghost and his best friend Ravi and a new girl named Jess. Can Luke and his friends get away before they each become victims to a cruel and sinister scheme? So that's Ghost Cloud that came out last year. If you want to read the sequel and continue on with Luke's adventure, you can also grab Nightspark. This is by Michael Mann, and this came out October 10.
My next book is Peter and the Wolf. Wolves Come in Many Disguises. It's by Gavin Friday, and you're never going to believe who did the illustrations. Bono.
No! Wow.
So this came out October 17, and we can relive the magic of Peter and the Wolf through this extraordinary modern retelling. When a wolf is found roaming the woods, Peter's grandfather warns him to stay at home. But children never listen to their grandparents, and Peter, who's mourning the loss of a parent, decides to venture into the deep, dark woods in search of the creature. Okay, so it's meant for grade levels 2 to 4, reading age 7 to 9 years. It's Peter and the Wolf. Wolves come in many disguises. And there's a little sticker on the front of the book that says, As Seen on Max, short for HBO Max. They just did a stupid rename.
Yeah.
So now I want to look it up and watch it.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Based on original illustrations by Bono, whatever his name is. Oh.
Okay, so my next book is a nonfiction. It is Plague Busters, Medicine's Battles with History's Deadliest Diseases. That was a mouthful. This is by Lindsay Fitzharris and Adrian Teal. This is kind of hysterical. The cover has this plague doctor literally holding a cane, battling these evil-looking, bacteria monsters.
I love plague doctors. I have to go look at the cover.
It's cute and fun, and there's rats dancing in a circle around him. It's hilarious. So throughout human history, we've been plagued by plagues. The symptoms of these diseases were gruesome, but the remedies were even worse. We get to know the ickiest illnesses that have infected humans and affected civilizations through the ages. Each chapter explores the story of a disease. That includes the scary symptoms, kooky cures, and brilliant breakthroughs that it spawned. So we have Lindsay Fitzharris, who is a medical historian. She lays out the facts with her trademark wit, and our illustrator adds humor with these hilarious caricatures.
I think we have some adults that need to read this book.
Yeah, I know. I was literally just thinking that before I started. I was like, man, wouldn't that be nice? I could just gift this to somebody for Christmas time. But yeah, so it talks about these big diseases like the bubonic plague or smallpox, rabies, cholera, scurvy. And I think this would be important because the more and more technology advances, the more I think our future generations are kind of going to forget about like plagues and diseases and what we need to do, because we are way better than what we used to be.
Well, and I was just reading a book where incidentally a character is set in the, I guess, 18th century. A character comes down with smallpox. I'm like, okay, bummer. Well, they're gonna lay in bed and be sick. I forgot that smallpox was disfiguring.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, and there's like so many things that I think we've just forgotten about because they're no longer, we don't have to think about it. I know somebody that had a kid that got scarlet fever, and I was like, I forgot. Scarlet, that's not a thing we hear about all the time, but we used to.
And my
So,
grandmother had polio, and people forget that was this century.
exactly, like learning about vaccines and yeah, practices, washing hands, and like all of those things are still very important. Even though we're in a cleaner place than what we used to be, it's still really important to not forget our past. So if you are interested too, honestly, this is a cool book, and as an adult, I would read this. This is Plague Busters. This is by Lindsay Fitzharris and Adrian Teal.
My next book is called The Puppets of Spellhorst, and I know that Katie's secretly afraid of puppets.
Yes. It's not a
Nothing
secret
wrong with
anymore.
that. I'm not shaming you.
No.
Just letting everybody know that you're never going to be able to look at the cover of this book that has puppets on it.
Oh.
It's by Kate DiCamillo with illustrations by Julie Morstad. Reading age 7 to 10 years or grade level 2 to 5. Kate DiCamillo is a master storyteller, and she writes an original fairy tale with enchanting illustrations where 5 puppets confront circumstances beyond their control with patience, cunning, and high spirits. They are shut up in a trunk by a cranky old sea captain who has a secret. 5 friends, a king, a wolf, a girl, a boy, and an owl, bicker, boast, and comfort one another in the dark. Individually, they dream of song and light, freedom and flight, purpose and glory, but they all agree they're part of a larger story. They're bound each to each by chance, bonded by the heart's mysteries. When at last their shared fate arrives, landing them on a mantle in a blue room in the home of 2 little girls, the truth is more astonishing than any of them could have imagined. That is The Puppets of Spellhorst. It's not going to be super dark, but it sounds really cute.
That does sound really cute. My next novel looks like a very similar graphic novel to like Goosebumps. This is called Creepover. It's There's Something Out There. This is volume 5 of the Creepover series, or You're Invited to a Creepover. So this is a middle grade graphic novel. Jenna Sanchez has always been fascinated by the legend of the marked monster, who's a scarred half-bird, half-beast creature that is said to roam the forests around her hometown. But is it real, or is it just a myth? Jenna decides to find out once and for all with a campout at her house where she and her friends can search for the legendary beast.
Oh, great idea.
Yes, although I feel like I would do that too. But as Jenna starts to learn more about the marked monster, she realizes it may have roots more sinister than she could have ever imagined. Will her quest for the truth end with her being marked for life? This is cute. The illustrations are really, really fun. I know plenty of readers out there that would prefer to read a graphic novel over a actual novel. So
Yeah.
if you've got little ones like that too, I do. Definitely check out the You're Invited to a Creepover series. This one is There's Something Out There. This is by PJ Knight, and the illustrator or the company is Glass House Graphics.
My next book is called Scare Waves. It's by Trevor Henderson, who's the internet horror superstar famous for his hair-raising creepypastas. This is a debut middle grade thriller, grades level 4 to 7 or age 9 to 12 years. You don't stay out after dark in Beacon Point. The small town of Beacon Point has always been plagued by eerie local phenomena. It's a town where disappearances are common, strange creatures have been sighted with unnerving frequency, and a ghastly secret lurks in the woods. You know how much I love books about secrets lurking in the woods. Woo!
Yeah.
The adults in town, though, are oblivious to these strange occurrences. Others prefer not to talk or even think about them. But over the course of several terrifying nights, a group of kids will come face to face with the horrors hiding within their sleepy town. They're guided by the mysterious radio host Alan Graves, great name. They must follow the clues to a terrifying secret before it eats them alive. Ah! And the cover has a frightening dude wearing a suit with a giant gaping mouth, and it's terrifying.
Oh no.
That is Scare Waves by Trevor Henderson.
Oh, fun. My next book looks really cute. I love this. It is Scream for the Camera. It is from the Graveyard Girls. I think it's a duology. This one's the sequel to the first book, and the art is really fun. I really, really like it. So I will just read what the sequel says. It says, "It's been a month since the events of 1, 2, 3, 4, I Declare Thumb War. When the Graveyard Girls, Gemma, Whisper, Sophie, Franny, and Zuzu discovered Silas Hoke's empty grave. A month and no answers. That changes when messages from the other side start to creep up on the Graveyard Girls. Gemma's good luck charm, the skull and Whisper's spilled milk, Sophie's vanishing phone, Franny's theater curse, and Zuzu's possessed journal. Who is trying to reach them and why? The good news is there might be one person with some answers. The bad news, she's a mortician with a deadly secret." Speaking of bad news, straight A Sophie is quickly sliding down the scale to becoming a B-flat friend. She is spending way more time hanging out with Danger Me and way less time with the Graveyard Girls and her schoolwork. Will her scary story be enough to win back her pals, or will her picture-perfect life become the ultimate photobomb? Oh, this is definitely a book for the kids of today. It's cute. This is Scream for the Camera. This is by Lissy Harrison and Daniel Kraus.
My final book today is called Tokyo Night Parade. It's a picture book. It came out on October 10. It's by J.P. Takahashi with illustrations by Minako Tomigahara. It's preschool to level, grade 3 or 4 to 8 years old. The night parade is about to begin. The ground thunders in Tokyo. A gust of wind blows. The pitter-patter of paws and claws draws closer. The air is thick with swirling, swooping demons. It's Ika's favorite evening of the year, the one night she refuses to miss. But it's become harder to travel to Japan now that she's living across the world in New York. Unsure of when she can return next to see her yokai friends, Ika tries to forget that this could be her last parade for some time. Instead, she'll march, sing, dance, hoot, and screech until sunrise. Because on this night, there's no time to waste. The night parade awaits. I'm going to peek at the pictures and see if I can see them. Oh, they're dark but colorful. So definitely not a very spooky book, but I love the adorable creatures that are dressed up and people. That is the Tokyo Night Parade by J.P. Takahashi.
And my final book of today is from the Are You Afraid of the Dark series, which is my favorite thing from childhood. It was the best. This one's called The Witch's Wings and Other Terrifying Tales. This comes out October 3rd. It's by Taylor K. Maijia, Junyi Wu, and Alexis Hernandez. So this is based on the Nickelodeon hit horror franchise. This is the first in an all-new horror graphic novel series with 3 original stories based on Hispanic urban legends and cultural lore. A new midnight society gathers around the campfire to share urban legends, folk tales, and all manner of spooky stories. These 3 terrifying tales feature haunted buses, monstrous creatures, and spine-chilling mysteries guaranteed to have you reaching for the light switch. In this tale, a young boy with a habit of bullying meets his match when an ancient witch sets her eyes on him. There's a story number 13 about a young girl who finds herself potentially trapped on a bus, haunted by more than just ghosts. And in the tale of the stray comet, 2 siblings bring home a stray dog that is much more monstrous than they could have ever imagined. Are you afraid of the dark? Well, you will be with this book, The Witch's Wings and Other Terrifying Tales, the first graphic novel of the Are You Afraid of the Dark series. This is by Taylor K. Maijia, Junyi Wu, and Alexis Hernandez.
And with that, that is our final list of picks for dark, creepy children's books for October 2023 here at Dark Side of the Library. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube at Dark Side of the Library. We are also active on Amazon Live at amazon.com/live/Dark Side of the Library, where you can see us chatting about dark books, tarot decks, Halloween, and all things spooky. And you can shop for them. Speaking of which, Our show notes here at Dark Side of the Library have affiliate links where you can look at the books on Amazon, and if you purchase them, we get a small commission. You can tune into more episodes of our Dark Books podcast on Wicked Wednesdays, Freaky Fridays, and occasionally on Macabre Mondays. Thanks so much for listening, and we'd love it if you'd leave us a rating or review on Apple Podcasts. It helps other dark readers find out about us.